This is something I've covered multiple times on this podcast, and I've shown graphs in the past that show you how closely tied together mortgage rates and oil usually are. Now, I think it's important to clarify that statement. Look, I don't believe, and it's not true, that mortgage interest rates are directly tied to moves in oil. It just so happens that they always end up in the same spot together eventually, right? So that's people would say, well, that's causation without correlation. Fair enough. But it is an overarching, reality that we see in the market. And it doesn't always happen immediately. And we've seen a few times in the past where oil prices went up or oil prices went down significantly and mortgage rates didn't move with them. I will tell you, it's pretty few situations where that happened, but they do exist because the two are not directly tied together. What they are directly tied to, though, is inflation, right? So we all know that when the price of oil goes up, there is pressure on inflation. I don't think there's any question about that. That would be more of a direct correlation. And the same thing with inflation being tied to mortgage rates. There's a direct correlation there. However, mortgage rates are also based on other factors, and one of which is the labor market. So what's going on right now is if you look at oil prices, and I touched on this just in my last episode, at the peak of this Iran issue, we saw oil touch close to $120 a barrel, close to that, maybe just under, depending on what you're looking at. And as of right now, oil prices are basically back to where they were before the conflict started, like $67, $68, $69 a barrel. So we're kind of back to where we were at the end of February, but rates haven't quite come down yet. Now, a lot of people go, well, Tony, I thought that oil prices and mortgage rates move together. And yeah, I'm not changing my stance on that, okay? But you do have to understand that there was a little bit different circumstances going on in February, and the labor market is a big part of it.